What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Port Adelaide's round 5 clash against West Coast. Big 42-point winners over in the West in one of the most dominant performances we've put out in a long time. Couldn't follow our performance last night against a West Coast side that really struggled in the wet, but let's see how it unfolded and who was the best on the night.
Numbered here lies set. 2-1, except it got through, and Rosie's going to take some stopping. So full of confidence. It's wet, it doesn't matter. He was being chased, it didn't matter.
There's so many positives to put out there, really. Manic pressure, team defense, ruthless attack. I've never seen us start so well in a long time. That was probably one of the best starts we've had in a couple of years now. It was a brilliant first quarter, especially with the first couple of goals on the board. Unfortunately, didn't take out some of our opportunities in that quarter, but to keep West Coast to just a goal and to put on so much scoreboard pressure and to take the crowd out of it was one of the key factors I mentioned in my preview, and we certainly did that early. And what a start it was. And we kept the momentum going throughout the second quarter as well, with a couple of early goals. We were so much better in the wet. We were confident. I mean, we saw the game against Carlton. We didn't look confident, or we were banging it in. We were just under immense pressure coming forward. And now we completely different side last night, or Friday night when you watch this. But it's just an amazing performance, especially with the amount of pressure that we had coming in from last week, and to see how we stacked up against a side that's probably in it's in good form. They have so many good players on the field. They have Darling and Kennedy, who haven't lost a game when they've played with each other for the last 16 games or something like that. So to come over from Adelaide to beat West Coast over there Friday night, big stage, good Friday footy, it certainly turned out to be one of the greatest Fridays I've ever had, because that was simply a perfect performance. There was a couple of instances where I thought, oh, okay, they're coming back, but that was a complete four-quarter performance. I can't fault Port Adelaide. There was a couple of incidents with the umpires that I didn't like too much. They really didn't. They really tried to take control of the game, didn't they? They just kept on picking out free kicks that we didn't need to pay. There was just certain factors in the second quarter, I think it was, where West Coast just got gimme goals, and that didn't help us. But the free kick count was 23-14. Not blaming the umpires at all, because we conquered that easily. We destroyed West Coast on the outside. Our transition footy was spotless. It was fantastic to watch. Dougal Howard, take a bow, mate. I said get out of the team last week, and now this week I'm saying you've probably played one of your best games for the footy club. That was awesome. 20 touches. He had a couple of really good marks. He took the game on. He's got good pace, which he utilised really well. And in those conditions, mind you, late in the game, he couldn't pick up a bloody ball. Same with Riley Bonner. But those two really stood up, especially when the pressure's been on them. And I really thought they had good games. And when something like that happens, when just a complete performance just kicks in, everyone's up, everyone's going, and that was some performance. Ollie Wines, fantastic performance by the co-captain. 35 possessions, kicked a crucial goal when West Coast had that run in the third quarter, which really helped us steady the ship. We then kicked another goal on the board, and that's it. We sailed home quite comfortably. Little bit disappointed with the fact that we can't kick 100 points. 13 goals, 17 last night. Goal kicking is becoming a bit of a worry, and it might hurt us again come in the near future. But for now, last night, 30 scoring shots to 13, 69 inside 50s to 38. That is a dominant forward display. We had constant pressure going forward. It was a great team defence. We didn't let West Coast get out of our 50 for majority of the game, and when they did, they stalemated and couldn't get any run going. And one of the key things was the fact that we nullified McGovern, and Todd Marshall came into the side last night, and he was phenomenal. Didn't hit the scoreboard as much, wasn't probably the type of conditions for him, but he nullified McGovern, got in the way. There was a set plan there. There was a specific one right on the first goal, or the first inside 50, where Paddy Ryder took a mark, and he Marshall cut across, blocked McGovern's run, so made Ryder and his opponent one-on-one, which is a great team plan, and that's why it works so well. Brad Ebert, another sensational performance down forward. Only had 13 touches, but his pressure inside 50 was awesome. He kicked a couple of goals on the scoreboard, and I've been harping on about him playing forward for a good year now, and it's looking like it's paying off. He's playing very good footy. Might not be getting as much disposals, but his pressure inside 50 is what we've needed, especially last season, and he's doing it really, really well. Travis Boak had a bit of a tag on Mark Hutchings, but for me personally, he shook that tag really well, had another 20 plus disposal game. Wasn't as clean as he's normally been the last month, but he still stood up really well. Probably that honourable mention for the votes, really, in the end. His first half really set us up. Was shut out of the game a bit in the second half, but the rest of the team stood up, even when he was down a bit. Sam Pepper the same, didn't have as much disposals, but he was hitting targets. He was effective. He kicked the first goal of the game. Got to work on his set shots because that was awful in the last quarter. But again, he was awesome. And one bloke I really wanted to mention is Sam Gray. He took the game on. He was fantastic. He had 26 possessions, if I'm right. He had a game high 8 marks for Port Adelaide. He kicked a couple of goals. He was just, that was the Sam Gray performance we've wanted for so long, and now he's put that out. That's what we expect every week. I don't expect 26 disposals and 2 goals, but I expect constant attack on the footy. He was awesome, and a big, big rap for him because he's been under a lot of pressure from the fans, and credit to Sam because he can hold his head high this week in what was a great Friday. Scott Lysette against his old team. Wow, what a recruit he's becoming. He was sensational last night. Just really, really good in the ruck. Him and Paddy Ryder becoming one of the best ruck combinations in the league. They just work so well together. There's just constant chemistry. They know when to attack. They know when to defend. They got their positioning right. I think they hit like 45, 50 hit-outs between them, which is just awesome. And look, some players last night that weren't in form were carried. Being brought back into form, if you know what I mean. They were not playing as well. They were sort of playing as individual passengers. But last night, the train was all in one carriage. We travelled along nicely, and that's a credit to Port. West Coast were awful, really, in the wet. That Petruccelli kid, wow, going to be a star for West Coast. He was awesome with 5 goals and a couple of goals out the back for him. I guess we were sort of in cruise control in that last quarter, but I can't fault our performance, and it was just a great Port Adelaide footy style of game, and that's how we should expect to play every week. Stand up in front of the fans and showcase. And how good were the fans last night? They were phenomenal. You know, you're outnumbered in a big stadium, very intimidating. West Coast over at Optus Stadium, and yeah, the cheer squad, the fans that travelled over. You guys were loud. You guys were awesome. You can be proud of yourselves because once again, you helped Port Adelaide get across the line. Going into the votes for this week's game, very tough to give votes because it was such a really team-based performance. But one vote goes to Tom Jonas. You keep Jack Darling goalless, and you're going to win the game. That was superb. A team-based performance for sure, but Tom Jonas, 13 disposals, took 4 marks, but he was really on Jack Darling, and it worked to a treat. The whole team worked well. Kennedy kicked 1 goal that was in the pocket late in the third, but honestly, that is just a fantastic team performance, and we bullied them down there in their forward half. They just didn't cope with the pressure at all, and that's really, really a real big positive going into the future. 2 votes, Sam Gray, 26 disposals, 2 goals, just awesome. Game high, 8 marks. He was everywhere, especially in that second half. He was setting up the plays, so many goal assists as well, and he just kept on running, which is great to see from Sammy. He's got to keep it up though. Can't put out a performance like that and then drop off instantly. He's got to be consistent now. That spot's his if he can keep it going. And 3 votes, the co-captain, Ollie Wines. Welcome back to form, son. That was a brilliant game of footy. He was just constant. He was a bull. That's his perfect style of game. 35 touches, 1 goal. He just was manic in the middle. Great pressure, good tackling. And that shoulder, the cobwebs are out, man, and Ollie's back. Just wanted to mention that goal he kicked. That was just so crucial to keeping our game instead and not letting it slip, and he did that superbly. And when you need a captain's goal, you need it, and he stood up, and yeah, he's going to lead this club really well with Tom Jonas down in defence.
Ollie Wines comes out. Now they claim that's touched. You can't review it, I'm afraid. How precious would a goal be now from the co-captain? Oh, what a moment to strike.
Well, that's it, Port fans. Let me know what you thought of last night's game. It was an absolute beauty. I'm going to be having a very happy Easter, and I hope you guys have a very good Easter as well, and it's been very nice with your families. But yeah, big week next week, Anzac round against North Melbourne. Must win to continue on this fantastic form we've all of a sudden gotten into. So yeah, this could set up our season really well again. So really looking forward to it, and thank you so much for watching once again. Make sure you subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content coming your way every week of the season. My name's Anthony, Port fans, and as always, go on the pair.